apart. Status Quo and the Wanderer. Cola's on the phone. Hello.
Hello.
You have a pet cat?
Yes, I have a pet cat called Kaya.
Kaya, lovely.
And I've got quite a few beds for it around the house. So she's got a Moses bed, and she's got lots of cushions. But she's also got a vintage Silver Cross pram.
You are joking.
No, especially I had to actually take it on a bus from, I think it was Dalston, and brought it all the way home for her, and she loved it.
You put Kaya in a vintage pram?
Yes, I do, at night time.
So you don't take her for walks to the shops?
I have taken her out, but in a cage in the pram, because she wouldn't just sit still in it.
That is the problem. But at night you tuck her up in bed in the pram?
Yes.
Does she stay there?
She does, yeah.
How old is Kaya now?
She's 7 now.
Is she the most pampered pet in the country?
She is, but she's also a working cat. So she gets me up about 6 in the morning, every morning on the dot. And she goes out and she has to do the cat world thing, doesn't she?
Okay. Does she bring things in for you and the rest of it?
She has done in the past, but if I tell her not to, she stops doing it.
And does she follow you round when you're wandering around the house?
Yeah, she does, yeah.
Is she relatively obedient? Because cats normally completely ignore everything you say.
She's got her moods, so it really depends, because she's a Maine Coon, and apparently they're supposed to be part feral.
I see.
So she can be moody, but it would take a lot for her to be moody.
So it's the name of the pram is a vintage, what was it, pram?
Silver Cross. It's a Silver Cross pram.
The old style?
Yes, big as that. Yeah, I had to get that on the bus.
Absolutely vast. How far were you taking it from where to where when you went to collect it?
Yeah, I think it was Dalston area, around there.
Back to where?
And I'm in Enfield.
That's quite some way.
Yeah, so it was on the buses, and they let me on the buses with it.
That's because normally they get a bit fussy about a couple of little buggies. So one of those big Silver Cross prams, they must have been smiling kindly upon you.
I was very lucky.
Cola, all the best to you and to Kaya.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling. How pampered's your pet? 81333, start your message. Mark, Nikki Brown is a pet behaviourist. I want to investigate whether this is good for our pets or not. Good evening, Nikki.
Good evening, Mark. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Thanks for inviting me on the show.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you on the programme. The behaviour we've just heard, Cola and Kaya, is I suspect quite normal because so many of us feel the need to provide for our pets in such lavish ways. Why do we feel that need?
I think it's really down to, pets give us just unconditional love, don't they? They just, no matter what we do, how we behave, they just shower us with this unconditional love.
But is it good for our pets when we do that to them? Can spoiling them lead to bad behaviour?
Is it good? It's up to the individual pet owner, but I mean, obviously, from where my work is, if you're pampering your pet or giving it too much affection or too many treats or anything when it's actually in a very unbalanced state of mind or showing an unbalanced behaviour, then we can actually start reinforcing those behaviours because we're treating them and we're reinforcing it and saying, this is the way to be. So I think, it's lovely that we shower our pets with affection and love and everything. They get a very, we get a very good bond with our dogs when we do that, or with our pets when we do that. But it's about looking at doing it, when they're in a very, very calm, balanced state of mind really is the best way or the best time to do that.
How can you judge when that extra little treat becomes something more than just that could potentially be disruptive to the balance of behaviour?
Well, again, if the dog's sort of showing, say, fear, it's our human reaction when we see each other in fear to go and give each other a cuddle or to go and calm each other down and give each other affection and say, there, it's okay. But if we actually study canine behaviour, the dogs wouldn't behave like that with each other. They'd tend to sort of go over and nip or growl or say, hey, calm down, sort yourself out. So, again, it's if you're giving treats when the dog's showing very fearful, nervous, obsessive kind of behaviour, behaviour, then all we're going to be doing is reinforcing that. And that would be not the time to treat or give affection or praise.
You've been doing this for quite some time. You've been giving advice and helping pet owners for a number of years. Have you noticed behaviour changing over that period of time? Are we getting softer? Are we mollycoddling more? Are we buying more treats?
Absolutely. I think, just if we look at the whole history of the domesticated dog, and we look back to when the first domesticated dog was found in a burial site in Germany about 15,000 years ago. And, they've been with us for 15,000 years. But if we look at sort of commercial pet food, treats, things like that, they've been around only really for about 150 years. So it's a very, very new way of dealing with our domesticated pets, even though in our lifetime it seems that's all we've ever known, all we've ever been doing. But we're now seeing a real rise in health and behavioural problems with the amount of treats, commercial pet foods, things like that on the market. And we're actually seeing the amount of damage that it's doing. We're only just beginning to realise the positive effects that it's having, because they're pumped full of so many chemicals, sugars, preservatives to keep them on the shelf.
So is that your biggest piece of advice to new pet owners? Just be really, really, really careful what you're giving your pet.
Absolutely. I don't think many pet owners actually read the labels of their pet foods or their pet treats, but and even when they do, the language or the terminology that's used is very confusing. So a lot of people don't really understand what's going on. I obviously give a lot of pet diet, nutrition advice, and actually educate people on what's going in these foods, what's going in these treats, and how they actually really affect behaviour and health problems. Because usually problematic behaviour is actually a symptom of an underlying health imbalance somewhere going on inside the dog. And dog trainers, dog behaviourists, things like that tend to just work on the behaviour, which is actually the symptom, whereas a natural dog whisperer will actually work on the cause, and we treat the whole problem, the whole picture, and really sort of start working from balancing the dog from the inside, working onto the outside and the environment of what's happening.
Thank you so much for that. Nikki Brown of Canine Angel, the UK's dog whisperer. Fascinating, isn't it? Are we mollycoddling our pets too much? Well, Nikki thinks so. Do tell, does your dog have a tiara? Do you send your pets to the spa? I'd like to know, please. Tell me, are you pampering your pet, and how pampered is your pet? 0345 300 1858. Text is 81333. Start your message.